says I'm live. Live, but whatever. Let me, says I'm live. Shall find out. All right. Excellent. All right. I'm just doing a test here because I'm in the garage. It's effing cold outside. I got a little heater right here. Smoking a cigar called Anti-Hero. I don't know. Well, oh, look at all this. I saved the wrappers there. These are broken. That one's good. This one needs to on it. All right. Where's my car? Here it is. All right, it's been a while since I've been live. How are we all doing? A lot has gone on. I've been thinking about going live. One of these Fridays coming up, AM station has now playing every Friday night at a place called Martini's Bar and Patio. Same owner as where we play every Saturday, where I used to live stream from. But it's a different venue. It might be a little easier to film, so I might film some. We've been working on some new songs, so this looks like it's frozen. My phone doesn't look like I'm frozen. Hold on, let me see if I'm on the internet here. Am I frozen? Why on this TV is it frozen? All right, yeah, now it's not frozen. Hey, Jordan, thanks. Yeah, we played that, God, did we play it last, I think we didn't play it in the last few weeks, but we played it a few weeks ago. I always like that song. It's a fun one to play with two guitars because the overall sound in that beginning and ending is really cool. Hey now, Jan, what's happening, my friend? I bought a box of these cigars. They're all right. I'm loving the new Fortnite Season 6. How are you, Randy? Randy, you should add me and Joe. We've been playing Season 6. The little ancient Japan, or whatever they call it. It's like rural Japan. Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I have issue. I hope that they start adding places like they did last season or the last mini season, because it seems like there's a lot of empty spaces. It seems like the island's bigger, I am Team DL, TEAMDL 6205. Joe is, I think it's Hey Joe 1967, but I think there's underscores there. It's like Hey underscore Joe underscore 1967. TEAM. Randy, TEAM underscore DL6205. Hey, Chris Valdez, how are you? That's it, Team DL6205. Oh, anytime. What else has been happening? You know, it's so funny. I've been out of like the music mode on. I really haven't watched any YouTube music stuff. I really just watch, well, obviously the political stuff that I've been loving lately, and not much. I mean, I really don't watch much else. No, no snow yet. No, but yeah, I usually just I usually watch YouTube when I'm here in the garage smoking, whether I'm smoking a cigar or a pipe, and trying to think if there was any music stuff. Some of the stuff, like the Midnight Special stuff, I watch, but no, hey, Cold Roses, but nothing like, I'm not watching anybody's channel. In fact, you know, Guitar World sends me a magazine, you know, their magazine every month, and I saw one this month, and I was like, you know, it's all about, you know, there's a lot of pedal stuff, and I'm like, my God, it's like, pedals are one of those things. So many people make great pedals, and other pedals that people love, I hate. So I hate the conversation about them. Like, I mean, like people, like I forget what it was, but somebody was talking about their rig and just gloating over the OCD, which I had on my board for maybe a week, and I got rid of it. I fucking hated the sound of the full tone OCD. It's just not for me. I don't like the way it sounds, and oh, that's awesome, Randy. It's a great gift. There you go, Hugh. Good to see you. Exactly. And Hugh, just remember, if it's not Scottish, it's clap. Yeah, I mean, it's just the constant of, you know, I mean, and I have nothing against full tone just because I hate the OCD. I think the Fat Boost 3 is an awesome pedal. If you're going to use it as a buffer line driver, it's a great pedal. But somebody else may not like it, and I don't care. That's the whole point I'm making. It's like everyone has an opinion about stuff. I mean, Josh Scott kind of showed off to everybody that, you know, everyone was hating on that Bad Monkey, and now everybody wants it because he showed that it can sound good. That's like with everything. Yeah, the Deja Vibe's awesome. I own two of them. I love, you know, the black one that had the 9 volt in with the 18 volt converter built inside. I have two of those. Is that the one with the foot? I think the mini Deja Vibe is the one I'm talking about, isn't it? The black one? Yeah, I love the Duelist. I love the Soloist, which is the single side pedal of it, but that's a great sounding pedal to me. That's what I mean. And then somebody else, like, I mean, I think Honeybee Amps makes a great sounding 808 as well. And there are other guys that make 808s, but sometimes, you know, you pick one up and it sounds good and the other one doesn't to you. So whatever floats your boat. Yeah, the black one. Like, I get a kick of guitar roll. I see all these ads for guitars, ranging from $1,000 to 4,000, 5,000 bucks. And I'm like, man, I play a Strat. I don't care about anything else. I mean, yeah, they're my own kind of thing that I do with them, but still, like, I'm never looking at another guitar going, man, I gotta play another guitar. I gotta get something new. I just don't care. I like what I play. In fact, I look forward to breaking out the 2 or 3 guitars that I mainly play. But yeah, I will make more videos coming up. It really depends on what songs that I'm working on for students and do they transfer well. One of my students, she really picks songs that I definitely wouldn't be teaching on my channel. It's um, not to say that they're bad songs, they don't follow my criteria of what drives me to post something, which would be something nostalgic or something that I think a lot of people would dig. And so, uh, yeah. Which Martin is that, Hugh? One of my all-time favorite acoustics is a Martin HD 28V. I think that, and the triple O version of that, which is the triple O 28 or EC, which is the Eric Clapton signature. Those two are my favorites. Yeah, HD 28. Yeah, I prefer the V, but I could understand if you don't, because you definitely have to have you need a grip, you know what I mean? It's like, I like the big fat V-necks, and the HD 28 is just, your simple, but I think the bracing might be different also on the V. I think it's forward or not. I forget which one's which. I've been so out of it with guitars lately, but. Johnny Kramer, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. Johnny, you always have nice things to say about me, but I don't think you ever watch my channel, because sometimes I'll slip on at night when I get home, and I'll see you're live by the fireplace playing a guitar, playing a song, and I'm like, did you not watch my lesson? I'm just busting your balls, Johnny. It's going to be a fantastic year. I mean, 2024 was a good year, and it keeps giving, so I'm enjoying 2024. I bought myself a nice pipe for Christmas. Hasn't come in yet. I ordered it from this company in Germany, Vowen. I'll show that when I get it. And the only reason, like, I really prefer smoking cigars, but the thing about the pipe is sometimes when it's really cold here, I only want to smoke for like 20 minutes. And a pipe, you can do that. And it's also, I mean, the pipe can be expensive, but the tobacco and everything, once you get it going and you have a little collection, you can just pop out a 20-minute smoke, and that, whatever 2 ounces or 4 ounces of tobacco will last you, a couple of months. The way I smoke. I've hit over 2 years carnivore. As of Thursday, I will be 25 months carnivore. So that's good. Like I said, I'm never going back. And yeah, I feel great. Thanks, Ricky. Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping, my weight's been the same. It's been about like, it fluctuates 2 or 3 pounds up just because I'm putting on muscle. I'm in the gym every day, but for the most part, I'm weighing about a little under 185, maybe between 183, 185. The lowest I got to was like 172. But my waist is the same since I was that. I'm still a 31 waist. Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel great. I have no aches and pains. I feel like a little kid. But yeah, maybe not this week, but maybe the week after I'll film the martinis. What telly pickups do I like? I like the area pickups, the area telly neck and the area telly bridge. Um, Depending on what you want it to sound like, I know some people prefer the hot T, the area hot T neck, bridge, but I prefer the regular. Just sounds like a Fender Custom without the noise. Yeah. It's so funny because so many people ask me to do some fill-in gigs lately, and I'm like, no, not for that money. No. Want me to learn 30 songs for $100? I'm like, yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. Triple it, and I'll come out. Otherwise, learn 30 songs and schlep out my gear? No. No, no, no. Especially right now, I'm doing nothing but acoustic gigs and teaching full time. Um, the acoustic gigs are fantastic. I bring a guitar, a stand, a mic, and I'm good to go. Well, Ricky, back when they came out with those pickups, the original like Telly pickups, those amplifiers weren't pushing out a lot of gain, so the noise wasn't really as prevalent as it is once you put a higher gain and get into the Marshalls and whatnot. I think the popularity of Marshall might have been what drove the market to go to, well, 57 was what, the Seth Lover pickup, the PAF? I guess it was before. I play what's called the 740 FS. It is, and it's the cool tube preamp with the pickup, with the extra pickup in it. And that guitar was given to me from Takamine. I believe it's the David Lindley model, the 740 FS. There might be something before the 740, I forget. Or it might be called the FS 740 CT, which would be the cool tube. But the cool tube preamp, I think, is the greatest. I mean, my sound live, I'm really happy with. And people come up all the time and they're like, what the hell guitar is that? That thing sounds amazing. And I'm like, I think it's the pickup system. But of course, I know it's my playing that they love. I'm kidding. Yeah. People say, how do you get it sound like that? I'm like, it's in the fingers, man. No. Yeah, the cool tube preamp is fantastic. It has a natural compression that it causes. And it's just, it fattens the note, even though you can make the note a little brighter, it'll fatten it still, and it just has an overall great sound. I love it. Compared to like, Taylors are beautiful playing guitars. I think plugged in you need a pedal board for a Taylor, because I feel like you need some form of compressor and a little other things to help the sound. Where I don't, with the Takamine, I plug in. Now I'm plugging into a reverb and then I go into the board's reverb. So I'm using a 2 reverb system. One gives me a shorter reverb, and the other one, which I feel fattens the sound, and the other one is a longer reverb. Nor am I. Yeah, the expression system I don't love. It's not bad. I just don't think it's as good as the Cool Tube. There were ways to dial in the expression system, like turning the bass and treble way down and then using the volume to drive the signal without the bass and treble pushing as hard. It has much more of an acoustic sound. It really takes out that mid woof that I think that guitar has plugged in. Yeah, LR Bags is good. Yeah, I'm using a plate reverb, and well, I mean, and then whatever he's using on the board. The board, I can't remember what board we use, but whatever the reverb, and I think it's a shitty reverb on the board that he's set, but because I dial it in with my own reverb, I get the sound that I like. I just try to make it sound rich, and like I said, I'll try to film at some point. Maybe not this Friday, but maybe next Friday, just at the new venue. Although it's a really live room, it's, I should wait till they put up the, they're gonna put up sound, what is it called, soundproofing. I do have a Big Sky, that's on one of my pedal boards. The one that I use with my acoustic is, I used to use the Hardwire, that shit the bed. And I use now the New Neighbor Seraphim reverb is what I use on my acoustic. The Big Sky's on my Strat pedal board. But when I go do acoustic gigs, I'm not bringing out pedal boards. Fuck no, I'm just bringing out one pedal. I have it like in a fishing tackle case that I keep my microphones, my cables. Oh, let me mute my phone, I just heard that. All right. Very good. Other than that, just playing, teaching, going to the gym, taking care of my mom. Yeah, I'm not schlepping gear. That's what I tell people. Like, I've had a few people ask me to do some fill-in gigs, and I'm like, no. Number one, I don't feel like schlepping the gear, and two, like, I hate doing a set list of songs that I've been ripping on for forever. I don't like playing the songs that everybody plays. I find them obnoxious, and they never sound good, you know. Which is why AM Station plays songs, and the songs that I teach on my channel, get away from, yeah. Yeah, you know what else is good for that? Is a really slow, subtle tremolo. The slide. You put a slow pulsating tremolo on that and you'll get that. We've been talking about it, actually, Ricky. The Big Angry has been in communication with each other. Our old manager is trying to put something together, and so we've been all talking. I was thinking about doing the song. We've been doing the song on my channel, on the gigs, "Operator" by Jim Croce, and I do like all the second, you know, the second guys, the fills, all that stuff. So I was thinking that might be a cool song to teach, but I just haven't had the inspiration to hit record yet. How's the audio, by the way? I have a heater right here at my arm's length, blowing heat on me. You see the number on the matchbook is old and faded. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you for the time. Oh, you've been so much more than kind. Nice, Ricky. I talk to Joe often. I see Joe like every day on my headset when we play Fortnite. We have a bunch of laughs with RL as well. And a bunch of new friends that we met on there, which is very cool. Some good peeps. You know, I haven't talked to Krellbar in a while. Other than liking his posts on Facebook, him and his brother John, I don't think I've had a conversation with him since the show stopped. Other than him just asking me a question on Facebook, but I haven't talked to him. I probably will reach out to him soon. If I go down to Rhode Island to smoke, I'll give him a call. But I haven't been going down there because over the summer and in the fall, the weather's been really nice. My garage has been open. I open my garage door and I can smoke in here and it's just great. But, you know, now that it's getting colder again, I do like going there and we'll see. It's just driving's a pain in the ass. Especially on 95 South. Just sucks. Thank you for the time. Oh, you've been so much more than kind. Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I was thinking about teaching. Can't remember. Hey, thanks, Andy. You too. Andy, I'm playing up in Whitman every Friday night now if you want to swing up. I picked up the Marshall and the Trade. It's really good amp, but those. Yeah. Yeah, those are great amps. I love the Marshall Vintage Modern. Yeah, for Thanksgiving, I kept my carnivore diet. I had turkey and bacon and mozzarella sticks that I made using pork rinds crushed up on the outside, frying it in bacon fat and dipping it in sour cream. That was so effing good. Piece of cheesecake. Yeah, so it's in Whitman at a place called Martini's Bar and Patio every Friday. It's going to be about 8:30 to 11:30. Right now we're doing 9 to midnight, but I know they're going to try to push us up a little bit, which is fine with me. We'd like to do 8 to 11. It's fun. We get a good crowd. Last week they were effing drunk. That was annoying. Oh, 750 is a great price for that amp. There is a mod for that amp you can do, but I think that amp is just great anyways. My band just played Atlantic Cafe in Taunton last weekend, good crowd. I don't know the Atlantic Cafe though. Where is it in Taunton? Okay. I can't even remember the last time I played in Taunton. It might have been a year ago. That's like a half-hour drive, not bad. The Raynham Taunton line there. It is chilly. Chilly Willy. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've been playing consistently every Saturday. We've done a lot of parties on Fridays. Now we have the consistent Friday gig. And that'll be great. So every Friday, every Saturday, we jump from one martinis to the other. Oh yeah, yeah, I like the Jockey Club. Yeah, I have a single rectifier. I'd be willing to sell mine for the right price, but it's just too heavy of an amplifier. The brain of it's awesome. It's a great sounding amp. But who wants to schlep a 1x12 amp that weighs 85 pounds or 90 pounds? It's fucking insane. I'm trying to think of what new songs we've been playing since you guys have seen us, because we've added a bunch. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, too much. 80 pounds is just insane. Nice, Ricky. Yeah, it's good to get back and play. It's so funny because like some of my students will ask me what I use to practice, like because when I teach, I'm using my Fender Mustang, and I have an exact copy Mustang with the exact same sound that they use, and I own two of them. And then I'm like, well, I'm never in here unless I'm teaching, so I don't ever practice with an amp. Which like if you're not used to playing a big amp like a Marshall or a 100 watt or a 50 watt loud amp, that definitely takes some getting used to. But when you practice without an amp, it's the same. It's like a little bit more exposing of what it sounds like. The 6505. I like the Triple X version 2, which was the JSX PV. When Satriani took his endorsement away, they released the amp under the name Triple X version 2. That's a great amp, and you can buy those pretty cheap. It's basically a JSX, and I think that's one of the best sounding PV amps. I think it's better than the 5150. And when I saw Van Halen, I think it was 2007. I'm trying to remember what year it was. His guitar tone was fucking horrible. And I never thought I would ever say that about Van Halen. But his live sound on that, because I saw them in the 90s, his guitar tone. I saw him on the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge tour. I mean, other than being like overly fucking chorused but it sounded just like the record, and it sounded great. In 2007, it sounded terrible. It was not good. I have the 2x12 EVH cabinet. It has vintage 30s in it. Yeah, 4x12s are nice. Definitely a difference when you're moving air on stage than when you're playing and this is something I've brought up many times. It's definitely a different experience for the guitar player. There's a cool interview with Matthias Jobs from the Scorpions where he says he doesn't ever use modeling amps. He's always using real, 50 or 100 watt heads moving air on stage because he thinks that really is the sound. And it is the sound to him, and it's definitely inspiring when you're playing it that it's a different animal. You're controlling the beast. But if somebody's not playing that, and they're playing, let's say, a modeling system, and it's going through the PA, I can tell you, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. On the audience side, it's not as obvious. It's obvious to the player. They're on stage. There's a big difference between having a wall of sound pushing behind you and listening to in-ears and hearing stuff. Yeah, I think they were trying to make it, Jeffrey, for the studio guy, who, where you want the breakup, which includes speaker breakup, at a lower volume. Very much like, you listen to like Larry Carlton play in the early days, and he's just using a 10-inch speaker in a Princeton. And a lot of those guys used Princetons back in those days because you could crank them up and they would have breakup at a point where it wasn't killing your ears. Which is why I constantly say to people, I would take an AC-15 over an AC-30 any day. I think the AC-15 has a nicer breakup at a volume that I'm not sitting there screaming. Yeah, Rudolph looks like he was up all night. Rudolph's getting old. He was wondering if what time Jeopardy was coming on during that interview. Is it 7 yet? Is it time for Wheel of Fortune, then Jeopardy? I don't know if you guys follow my Instagram. It's Dave_Levine, Levine, at Instagram. But I post more on Instagram than I have been on YouTube lately. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, but when it comes to the audience, do they notice it? People can argue it all day, but I think Billy Gibbons went out and one tour was using 11, he switches amps around, and of course he's going to have a preference to how it responds. And, that's why I say it's the same thing about pedals. Like certain pedals respond a certain way. I know a lot of people that love the OCD. They're like, I love the way it sounds and the way, and when I hear them play it, I think it sounds pretty good. Same with now, again, because I think Mike Fuller makes good pedals. It's just the OCD I don't like. Same with Mike Piera at Analog Man. I think Analog Man makes a decent pedal. I think the King of Tone and the Prince of Tone stinks. I do not like it. Now, my friend Rob has a custom-made King of Tone, which has a different circuit, and his sounds great. And I played his, and I'm like, wow, this is what the original should sound like. This one sounds good. But I don't care for the King of Tone. And I hear people sometimes play it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds okay. That's a cool sound. What pedal's that? And they tell me. But anytime I go to play it, I'm like, I don't like the way it responds. It's just, and it's a strange thing. And does the audience know the difference? No, they're not going to know. Yeah, the thing with Rick Beato is what makes this song great is it's already a well-expected great song. It's not like he's playing something that hasn't been released yet and tells you it's great, and then you can see if it flops or it's good. He's taking songs that have been in the ethos for so long, everybody knows it. So it's like you could take Rush, I think he does Rush Tom Sawyer on one of them. I don't really watch them, but the bass and the drum, yeah, they're all good. But they've been playing great bass and drum shit since fucking, Caress of Steel. And what are you gonna say, 2112 isn't fucking great? Or Hemispheres isn't one of the greatest? But it wasn't a hit. And, but when you go to Tom Sawyer, it's like, well, then there's more to it than your stupid commentary on what the drums and what the bass sound like. Yeah. In fact, I think my favorite guitar tone is an 808 in front of a vibroverb. I think the vibroverb might be Fender's best amp, the 15-inch speaker one. Yeah, Moving Pictures, the whole album's fantastic. But what I'm saying is Rush at that point, in my opinion, struck lightning in a bottle. It wasn't that it's just a great bass and great drums and great guitar. They're great songs. And they happen to capture a vibe and a mood that was 1981. I mean, look at Billy Squier. His first album is not very good. Don't Say No, produced by Reinhold Mack. Reinhold Mack came off of producing Queen the Game, and he produced an album that not only sonically sounds amazing, but I'm sure he had something to do with the selection of the songs, and the record's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Then you go to the next album, Emotions in Motion. It's good, but he didn't strike lightning in a bottle again. It's just one of those things where, there's a lot going on into what makes something great and what makes something just good. I mean, April Wine was a very good band. If you want to go to Canadian bands, they were a very good band. They hit lightning in a bottle when they did Nature of the Beast. They were on top of their game. All the stars aligned for them. It's a great fucking record. Same with Crocus, when they did the Headhunter album. Everything came together on Headhunter where it was like, this is the album they were born to make. And you could argue that Back in Black is that. Although every album I think AC/DC put out is fantastic, and I could be biased about that, but there's no question that the album they were meant to make was Back in Black. It is just unbelievable. I think Tooth and Nail is their best album as well, but I think the production on it stinks. I think his guitar tone is fucking horrendous, and it's hard for me to listen to those songs again. And hey Andy, have a good one. And when I think about it, I'm like, man, was I forgiving as a 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid when that record came out? Was I forgiving about guitar tone and drum sounds? And when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, the songs are nostalgic for me, but the production is like, not good. Yeah, Flick of the Switch and Power Ridge are great records. I don't, and I bring them up as the most underrated and my favorites, but I don't think it's a better album than Back. I don't think either one is a better album than Back in Black. I always say that as a caveat when people ask me what do I think the best Zeppelin album is. I'm like, I can tell you what my favorite is Physical Graffiti, but Zeppelin 4 is their best album. I mean, that album is just slays. It slays. Now, part of the reason why it's not my favorite, it's overplayed to fucking death. Rock and roll for me was overplayed to death. But if you sat down and was like, I'm going to listen to some albums from 1971 and see what the vibe of the rock world was, and you put on Fragile, great album. You put on Thick as a Brick, not Thick as a Brick, Aqualung, great album. You put on The Who, Who's Next. It's a great album. There's some songs on it I never want to hear again, but it's still a great record. 71. You put on Zeppelin 4, phenomenal. 71's a pretty great year. Hugh, I would recommend, I think Back in Black is a must-own album. But even Flick of the Switch, it depends on which singer you like better. If somebody asked me Power Ridge or Flick of the Switch, because they wanted to pick up a not-so-popular AC/DC album, give it a listen, I would just ask which singer do you like better. Presence is a fantastic album. There's some issues I have with Presence, I will say. Not Hot's On for Nowhere, I like that one. Candy Store Rock's a little boring. Nobody's Fault But Mine, I don't love. And T for One is not great. Achilles, Royal Orleans, For Your Life, Hot's On for Nowhere, fantastic. Zep 2 is amazing. Zep 2, is that say Zep 2? Yeah. Zep 2 is the album that turned me on to them. It's an amazing album. In fact, if somebody wanted to argue with me, Zep 2 is a better album than Zep 4, I'm all ears. I don't agree, but I agree that that opinion is a valid opinion. But if you said to me Zeppelin 1, Chuck, my friend Chuck who says that, I'm talking to you, Chuck, it's not the best. If somebody said to me, House of the Holy is the best Zeppelin album, I would take their temperature and see if they're okay, make sure the hospital has the jello they like so they can be checked in. Oh, I think Zep 1 is better than okay. It's very good. I just don't think it's their best. Yeah, mostly. I think most of his career was mostly a telly until he did Into the Outdoors, a lot of Strat on that in the evening, and I think All of My Love's a telly. But hey, this all started because of the Rick Beato thing. Yeah, but Beato, like I said, why this song is great, I think is a silly video, but people watch it. I don't. I watched it once, and I was just like, I've had enough. It's a little bit of nonsense. And I think he's also, like, he's a very schooled musician, and he's good. I just don't agree with the way he talks about music and thinks about it. And I've had a few people that reached out to me lately that I know in my personal life who wanted to know more about, like, playing outside scales and how to look at music, and they're usually very surprised how easy it is instead of the convoluted modal thing. You know, way back when, and I don't know if I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. When I was 22 years old, I took a few lessons from Joe Stump. And Joe was the Yngwie teacher down at Berkeley, and he's a great technical player. But one of the silliest things we ever discussed was he was playing an A harmonic minor scale over an E major. And he was telling me that we're now playing E Phrygian dominant, which is true. But to say it, and not just say we're staying in A minor, because the whole song is in A harmonic minor. At one point it lands on the E, and now he's calling it this mode, and I'm like, but you're playing the same pattern that you played over A minor. You haven't changed anything, but you're going to say the mode is, it just seems really different. Oh yeah, Ricky. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing when you. I mean, Hugh could. I mean, that would be good for Hugh's channel because I think Hugh knows a lot of music, a lot more than a lot of other people do. Because when I mention stuff, Hugh's always right there with me. Now, there's some disconnect between Hugh and I. He probably goes one way in a different style, where I go. I don't think he knows the heavier stuff as much, or I don't know what he knows for jazz. But yeah, the way I look at theory to me is just, I mean, I just look at it in its simplest form, and almost the way a classical musician would, because if you sit there and you look at classical music, there's a key signature, especially when it's written properly. It's not all written properly, but there's a key signature written in the music. And so let's say that key signature has one sharp, but the whole song revolves around a D chord. Well, people are going to sit there and want to say to you, oh, this is Mixolydian, this is Mixolydian. It's the key of G. Yes, we're centering around the D, but it's the key of G. I was listening to my jazz mix, and on the weekends, I listen to Spotify now, so all during the week I have heavy metal on because I go to the gym and listen to it in the gym. And then on the weekends I put on my jazz, especially starting in the fall because I love the jazz music with the fall landscape when I'm driving. And Keith Jarrett's song, Long as You're Living Yours, I think that's the name of the song. But it's really the basis of Steely Dan's song Gaucho. And, it's so fantastic. It's such a great vibe. But really, you get to hear what Steely Dan just completely stole this guy's song. To the point where they had to give him credit. But yeah. Oh, I never even heard that. Corrosion of Conformity's album Blind, I think, is one of the greatest records. I think that's a great record. I thought it was a mistake, the album after they got rid of the singer and the guitar player sang. I found that to be a terrible mistake. For whatever reason, I don't know why they did it. I don't know the personal ins and outs of the bands. I didn't care. But I think Blind is one of those albums where they hit lightning in a bottle. It's like that's the album that band will be remembered for, in my opinion. And oh, really? Yeah, see, I didn't even know they were still together. It's a shock to me. I think Skunk came in, I could be wrong, but I didn't think he was on the first album. I thought he came in after that, but he might be on the first record, but he's definitely on Countdown to Extinction, Pretzel Logic, what's the album, and Katie Lied. 3 or 4 albums. Somebody tell me if he's on Campfire Thrill. I wasn't sure if he was or not. We were just talking about this the other night. Somebody said Skunk was on the first album, and I said, I didn't think so. But he could have been. I just don't know. But he's definitely there on Countdown. He's definitely on Pretzel Logic, and he's definitely on Katie Lied. For the Royal Scam, they brought in Larry Carlton. And after that, he wasn't in the band. Anybody look it up? I have no idea. It's either 3 or 4 albums. Since the DL live show has been off the air, John Amos has passed away. That would have been a great opportunity to have Florida go, damn, damn, damn. Oh, all right. What else? I don't have much to the cigar left. This thing might go a little bit over an hour. Tell me any other questions you guys have for me. Feel free to ask now. I'm going to start doing more lessons privately. I have a couple of students that reached out to me that I've gotten from my channel. And if anybody on the channel that watches it wants one-on-one lessons, just email me at dave44levine@outlook.com. That's for lessons, if anyone's interested in lessons. Acoustic, electric, theory, whatever it is. Whatever it is, Johnny Kramer. No, I'm kidding. Is Johnny even still here? Probably not. Any other questions? No questions? Oh, if he's on Can't Buy a Thrill, then it's 4 albums, Ricky. That makes it 4. Can't Buy a Thrill, Countdown, Pretzel Logic, and Katie Live. I believe he's on Katie Live. Let me try to think what was the, nope, that's not Skunk. Hey, Cold Roses, same to you, be well. Like I said, I'll try to do a live before the end of the year with AM Station. At the location in Plymouth, we've been having this girl come up and sing with us when she's off from doing her own gigs, and we do a bunch of Fleetwood Mac songs. And that's pretty cool. I haven't filmed any. Actually, I posted that once on Facebook. Since I stopped doing the DL show live, my subscriber count has sped up. It's higher than usual. And the channel's making more money than usual, so go figure. I think my lesson videos are going more out there, are getting more into the... That is true, Ricky, they will. Now, 2025 is going to be a good year. I hope everyone's having a safe year and a healthy year. Excellent, Hugh. Excellent. Yeah, like I said, I've reached, I mean, I have abs, and I'm like 183, 185-ish. My waist is a 31, and it hasn't changed now in over a year and a half. My brother's doing awesome on it. Joe's been losing some more weight, and he's feeling much better. Yeah, but the food is really what you need to watch. Eating is the most important thing of what you're putting into your body and how your health is. Like I said, I feel like I'm in my 20s. I act like I'm in my teens. I wish I were joking, but I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I made the carnivore channel. I haven't really posted shit to it. I hate trying to tell people because they just will argue and don't use anything. Oh, really? Mine gain weight. Same here, Q. I'm glad you're losing weight. I hope we can get to days going to leave 20 years. Yeah, I feel 20 years younger. I really do. I really do. And like I said, I feel like, honestly, I feel younger than ever. I don't have any aches and pains. I go in the gym and I feel like, oh, it's unbelievable. At night, waking up just to go to the bathroom or something, which is very rare these days, but when I do, I feel like I'm not like the old, creaky old man that I was. Yeah, it's been great. It's really been great. It's been eye-opening, life-changing. My brother and I, RL, we constantly talk about that we are now awake in the matrix. We see everything that goes on, and it's like we're being gaslit about everything. Everything, no matter what. When you sit, and I start talking about diet, you see how people come on and they sit there and go, well, this study and that study. They gaslight you about everything. These studies are so fucking stupid. And all you have to do, unfortunately for them, when they argue these studies, is look at the test of time. You know? Yeah, I mean, well, it doesn't understand. Now, the funny thing about lard is lard contains vitamin K2, which is a vitamin that takes calcium out of your blood and brings it to your bones. There's nothing in seed oil that's going to do that. You're going to have calcium in your blood. Well, what does calcium do in your blood? Oh, that's right, it calcifies, and it becomes blockage. Anyone that, you know, all you have to do is look at the history of seed oil and look how Americans have been eating more and more of it in sickness, and then countries that don't have it, look at their health. It doesn't take a genius. That's what I tell them. And I tell them, if you don't, my thing about them is you can tell me I'm crazy for cooking with lard, and if I die from it, you can piss and shit all over my grave. But I guarantee I'll be pissing on yours first if you're eating that seed oil. That I can guarantee you. I mean, unless of course you're 12 watching this and then. Yeah. Hey, Frank Ortega, nice to see you. Ricky, well, the thing is heart attacks didn't exist before seed oils. Seed oils came out. They were introduced into the food in the late 1800s, in Crisco in 1911, and the first heart attack in the United States from atherosclerosis was 1912. So before that, all the time before that, people were only eating pure saturated fat, and nobody was sick. Isn't that interesting? And then they gaslight you with their people weren't living as long. That's not true. The average lifespan was lower because you had children that were dying from infectious diseases and viruses before the age of 5. And I say to anybody, if you're worried about your cholesterol, don't. It's the silliest thing to worry about. If your doctor says you have high cholesterol and wants you on medication, have him give you a CAC test. Find out how much blockage you have in your arteries. My brother did that, and he scored a 0. And the guy was like, you're good. There's nothing, you got 0 block. I mean, it's just, they're full of shit. Cholesterol is not the issue. Cholesterol is a necessity to life, and fiber is not. There's essential fatty acids, there's essential amino acids. There's no essential fiber, there's no essential carbohydrate. You've been lied to by a machine that is selling you food. And you'll see in time it'll come out. I'm glad for RFK. And anybody that sits there and says, RFK's not qualified, he's against this and he's against... Oh, but you agree with a fat, out-of-shape fucking trans guy. Give me a fucking break, you... on the news, somebody said, oh, the measles will come back. Well, the measles, I think Bobby and Cindy Brady beat the measles. You know what they didn't beat? They didn't beat heart disease, and they didn't beat diabetes, and they didn't beat fucking everything else, cancer, that's so on the rise from the food that we're eating. So if you think that the problem is RFK and the vaccines, the vaccines are, you know, like, oh, if you're against vaccines, you're against good health, then you're a fucking idiot. Look at smoking. 1950, 13 in 100,000 was the lung cancer rate in 1950. 50% of the population smoked in 1950, and they smoked indoors, so secondhand smoke was even worse. Today, 10% smoke, the lung cancer rate is 50 in 100,000. Now, you tell me how the most probable cause that they say of lung cancer, has gone down from 50% to 10%, but the disease has quadrupled. 400% increase in the disease. You're being gaslit, people. Anytime a fat guy tells me that my diet's crazy, I ask them if they live in a fun house. Live in a fun house, you got one of those mirrors that make you think you look good? Because you look terrible. I can see it in people's faces now. The bloating, the fucking, I can see it. I'm just like, that is all, folks. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. She probably eat butter instead of margarine. All right, I'm off to do other shit, if you will. I hope everybody has a great night. In the chance that I don't film before New Year's, I wish everyone a happy New Year. I wish everyone a happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. Yeah. And thanks for everyone popping in, and I will see you soon. Now, let me see, how do I get rid of this thing? This? Very good.